Good evening, everyone. I'm Nicole Robinson coming to you again with another episode of Meet the Mustangs. And tonight I have the pleasure of talking to Ollie Burroughs, number 46 of the Connecticut Mustangs. So how are you doing tonight, Ollie?
I'm living a dream.
I hear that. Can you elaborate on why you feel like you're living a dream?
My way of thinking is like I'm alive, I could provide, and I'm not in really a tough situation as far as like, say homeless or needed for anything. So
Yeah.
that's why I said living a dream. I could be in worse predicament.
That is definitely true. And with that being said, let me ask you, how are you handling yourself during this pandemic? Like before we start talking about any football things, this is a crazy time that we're dealing with, and I know a lot of people probably never saw this coming in their lifetime, and it's affected a lot of people in many different ways. How has it affected you and your family?
More or less, me not working as more. I would still work a full-time job, but I normally work another part-time and then another side gig. So those two things kind of got
But like you, I am glad and I'm fortunate that I still, get to work and I still am able to collect a paycheck, because a lot of people are going through those issues with, like, the unemployment and stuff. And, I could never imagine that. So I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
But so why don't you just start with telling me a little bit about yourself, telling me like where you're from, what your childhood was like, some of the things that you like to do as a child, those types of things.
I'm from West Haven, Connecticut. Childhood, I grew up with me and my sister, just my mother. Then my stepfather came into our life a little bit later. Not really a father figure besides, like cousins and stuff like that to guide me a little bit. My mom did, I feel like, the best she could do, as in raising a son compared to raising a daughter. I was a little knucklehead. I was acting out just out of spite of, the dad not being there. And so I always, still to this day, apologize to my mother about that. But, I just, at that age, I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I understand, it's sad to say, but this is life for some people,
Yeah. So, did you play sports when you were younger?
Funny story is, I was always too big to play youth sports because they had weight limits, and I was a bigger kid. So I actually played in high school freshman year, and I hid that from my mother because she was against sports because of rumors of getting hit the wrong way. I mean, which is true. Getting hit the wrong way, you can end up paralyzed and stuff like that. So she was more worried for my safety, even though my cousins and uncles are like, that boy too big not to play sports. He need to be moving around, So I ended up hiding it all the way till like junior year. And the one day I missed practice and actually went to a study hall to actually get extra work done. The coach called home and asked my mother where was I at, and he was like, why? He doesn't play sports. He's at study hall. He goes, he's supposed to be at football practice. And my mother showed up to the school, was like, so you telling me you've been playing football this whole time for the past 3 years and you never told me? I said, because you would have said no. And she goes, you're right. And I'm still going to say no. But then my stepfather and uncles ended up talking to her, like, look, he's been going on just 3 years without an injury. You never even knew.
Yeah.
So why not let him finish all his high school?
Yeah, that's true. But I will say, I have a son. I have a daughter too. But my son, he's 16. And when he was playing football for his school, it's just a mother thing, because, we don't really know what goes into playing football. All we know is what we hear, and those are horror stories. So, I definitely understand where your mother's coming from. So, I mean, I'm actually glad that my son decided not to play football in the upcoming year. He's going to focus on track. But I mean, you can get hurt in any sport. So honestly, it's just one of those things where you just have to know basically like what you're capable of and what your limitations are, really.
Yeah,
But
I feel like you could get hurt just going to check the mailbox. Same injury
exactly.
from football you could get from slipping falling in the house.
Yep, exactly. So that's a lot of people do need to hear that because so many people are afraid of especially football because of like the concussion stories and stuff that they're hearing. But like you said, you can get a concussion pretty much hitting your head anywhere the
Mm-hmm.
wrong way. And that's just a part of life that we have to live right now. So don't be afraid to, play sports or put your kids in sports. Just teach them how to protect themselves.
Yeah.
So let's see. Did you play any sports in college if you went to college?
No, I didn't play any sports. I ended up going to culinary school.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
okay.
and did that, graduated, and cooked for a little bit. But the cooking I love. I still cook to this day. I have ribs in in a slow cooker right now, but I still cook to this day. But I'd rather cook for a smaller crowd, which
Got
I feel
it.
like is more personal, and I can actually show what I can do instead of cooking for a mass group where
Yeah,
everything is like, spread thin. So I'd rather cook
exactly.
personally. So I just cook for the fun of it now.
Okay. So it sounds like cooking became a passion for you. But what made you want to go back into football, and what made you join the Mustangs team? Like, because it sounded like you took a little bit of time off, from playing football. You found this passion, like you said, you love cooking, but then it's like football kind of like was calling your name because you're back playing football.
Yeah, I've been playing football for the past 7 years.
Oh wow.
So the Mustangs came about. I used to play for the Connecticut Bearcats
Okay.
back in the day. Originally, they were the Connecticut Chiefs, and so they were around for 2 years, and then the owner brought back the original Bearcats team, and I went there for 2 years. Then in the fourth year of the Bearcats, they ended up canceling their program
Mm.
due to non-funding, and so in the league we were playing in the NFL, they're not. We were halfway through the season, so you're not allowed to go to another team because their rosters are closed. So the
Okay.
ECFL had the Connecticut Ravens, and the owner of that team was connected with the owner of the Bearcats. So he wanted some of the players, not all, and I was one of the guys he selected to play offensive line.
Okay.
So I went to the Ravens. We won our championship that year. I went there, and then the Connecticut Mustangs were bought out. The Connecticut Mustangs started from, branching off from the
Oh,
Ravens.
oh, cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
So you said you got picked to play on the offensive line, right?
Yes.
Is that a position that you still play with the Mustangs?
Yes. I play off right tackle, and every now and then I rotate on defensive line
Now,
as a defensive tackle.
what exactly is right tackle and defensive tackle for those of us who are not like too familiar with the football
Right
lingo?
tackle. Right tackle. Obviously, you're on the line, so you're protecting the quarterback on
Okay.
pass plays, and on run plays, you're making way for the running back.
Okay. Got it.
And defensive tackle, you're on the front. You're on the front line, basically going against the offensive line to either stop the run or stop the pass.
Okay. Okay. See, I'm the type of person where if you tell me, all right, I'm this dude right here, I know where he got to run. I just don't know the correct term for his name.
Terminology.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I watch some football. I just don't know all the terms. I can just say, okay, number 12 ran that way and he stopped the kicker from doing this and that. That's
Yeah.
that's as much football as I know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't give offensive linemen enough praise as they give the
Yeah.
quarterback, the running back, the receivers. And honestly, I always tell people, if you don't have a good offensive line, you don't have a good offense. Because how are you going to get somewhere if that offensive line is not there? You can't run the ball against a full 11.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anywhere. So if you
Yeah.
have people that are going to block for you and make sure the pass comes out and they're doing their job, you're going to have a good offense.
Exactly. Exactly. I spoke to one of your other teammates, and I know he was just talking about like his body being worn down a little bit, and he was saying how if he doesn't feel like if he can give it his all, he's not going to go on the field, because if he can't give his all to the team, then, you know, if one player is hurt, then that messes up pretty much everyone else. So it's like, you know, the same that you're saying, everyone has to feed off of everyone else. And like you said, if the offense is not a good offense, then they're not going to be able to drive that ball, and you guys are not going to be able to score. So it's pretty much everyone has to, you know, do the job that they're basically hired for, I guess, you know, in a sense, and just work together. And, you know, hopefully you guys do get some of this praise, because that's what these interviews are for people to see, you know, this is who the Mustangs are. This is, you know, their life. This is a little bit about who, like, where they've come from and where they're trying to go. And, you know, maybe they might hear your interview and say, you know what, I'm going to start paying more attention to the offensive line. And there you go.
Yeah. Like now I coach football too. So I'm an offensive line coach and defensive line coach. So I make sure that my offensive line is actually working harder than the skilled players, because at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, the offensive line and the youth level is going both sides of the ball. You know, because it's like the best 11 are on the field, and then the other 8, the other kids get their 8 plays. You know, that let's be honest. You know, and especially when coming from an organization I coach, we are very competitive. You know, not to toot our own horn, but I coached 8U last year for West Haven Seahawks, and no team could touch us. You know, we went 13-0 and won the state and regional championship. You know.
Well, you should have been coaching when my son was on the team. He lives in West Haven with his dad, and he used to play for the West Haven Seahawks.
Wait. How long ago? I coached in 2015 to now. So he would have been 12,
he's 16
right?
now.
He would have been 12.
Yeah.
So he would have. So depending on his weight, he would have been on my championship team when we went to Disney in 2017 for the national championship. I was coaching that team too.
No, he's never been to Disney, but I know his brother had gone to Disney. I don't think in 2017. I think it was before that. So yeah, but
that might have been 15, because they went down to 15 too. It all depends on what age he was. What, you know, that was weight limit, so it didn't really matter about age like it does now. You know, now it's like 2015. I was coaching junior midgets, so that's 12 and 13-year-olds. And then 2017, I was doing the same thing, and then we went to the national championship and made it all the way to the national championship. We beat out California, Ohio, and then lost to Florida on TV.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow! But I mean, at least you guys got down there. You know, it's like it takes a lot to honestly get to that point anyway. So kudos to you guys for that. Yes. So let me ask you, besides for the love of football, besides just saying, you know, I love football, I want to play, what do you wish to get out of playing the semi-pro league with the Mustangs?
More or less, this is, a lot of people don't know, but this is my last year playing. I told everybody they're gonna get 100% every game. This is my last year, and I'm gonna stick to strictly coaching and getting my career started with like the police departments and stuff. So I need to like let my body heal, and I need to get the knowledge I learned from the years of semi-pro to the youth. You know, because not to say that it's bad, but there's a lot of old school coaches still coaching younger kids, and it's not the same like when they were playing. So like the fact that I'm still playing and I'm teaching these kids different things that they weren't taught, and they're actually excelling what I teach them compared to what they were taught, it shows that, like, you know, it's the new football level needs to be made for the younger guys that are still playing or coming up.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. It's like one of those things. It's like, football has come such a long way from when they were young. So now it's like they can't they can't teach what they were never taught. So,
Yeah.
that is a good thing that, you're looking at it in that perspective, because a lot of people feel like if a certain coach doesn't coach a certain way, then they're not a good coach. But it's like, no, the times have changed, generations change, time change, and the coaches have to change with that too,
Mm-hmm.
So we pretty much already answered one of my questions about where do you see yourself next after football, and like you just mentioned, you were going to be coaching. So let me ask you this one last question. Besides the football and besides your love of cooking, what else do you do with your time? Like, I don't know if you have any children, if you're married, do you have any other hobbies that you do? Like, what occupies your time besides football?
Besides working 5 days a week, I also have a 13-year-old. Well, my daughter's gonna be 13 this year. I had her young. I had her at 17 years old. So she's gonna be 13 this year. So she takes up most of my time. I'm trying to get her into sports, which she's more of an artsy kid, but she wants to play sports. And I tell her anything you do, whether it's art, whether you're painting a wall or painting a portrait, you gotta go 100%. So, like, between her and being that I have a 17-month-old dog, that's most of my life.
Okay, I hear you. Like I said, I have a 16-year-old and I have a 5-year-old. So I know that kids take up pretty much all of your free time. And now, you have more free time. So I'm sure she's trying to be underneath you every second of the day.
Yeah.
Every second, I swear. Children are a blessing, but sometimes you need a break from them.
Yeah.
So, one last thing. What is it that you would like to add to this interview for anyone seeing, for them to know who Ollie Burroughs is?
I just honestly just want people to understand the fact of judgment. Uh, being at what's going on in the world now, not to get off topic, but like, you never judge something you don't know, in my eyes. You get to know before you judge. And a lot of people will see me out on the street, depending if I got glasses on or not. they get a certain they'll judge me a certain way compared on who I really am.
Yeah.
I'm honestly a cool, down to earth guy, and a lot of people, if they do know me, they know me from bouncing at nightclubs, and football and coaching. So I'm honestly an open book. You're gonna get to say my league 24/7, 7 days a week. Funny, goofy, and just living life. That's it at the end of the day.
I hear that. And you have spoken, and hopefully the people that are watching this, they see you and they know a little bit more about you. And when they see you on the field, they can see number 46, right? Yes, number 46 do his thing. And then maybe, who knows, one year they might see you and you might be coaching one of their kids playing football. So it's a small world, can come around full circle. But there you guys have it. I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your day to sit and talk with me today and just, get a little bit of insight on you. And that concludes another episode of Meet the Mustangs with Ollie Burroughs, number 46 of the Connecticut Mustangs.